Okay, here's our warm-up for today. We're going to pause the video so you can solve this 3-variable system. Remember, take your time and be very neat with your work. I'm going to label my equations so that I can talk about them easier. First, second, and third. So I need to choose a variable to eliminate first and two pairs of equations. So I'm going to choose y first because both of these have a coefficient of 1. So I'm going to pair up 1 and 2. No, I'm not. I take that back. I'm going to pair up 1 and 3 because they have opposite signs. And then I'm going to pair up 2 and 3 because this is negative and this is positive, so already they'll be opposite. 1 and 2 can work as well, but they were both negative, so I would have to multiply one of the equations by a negative. This way I won't have to do that. So I'll take my first pair and rewrite them. I like this pair first because my y's already have the same coefficient. So when I add them together, I get x plus z equals -1. And we're going to come back to that. So now for the next two equations, for 2 and 3, I'm going to take this bottom equation and I'm going to have to multiply it. But first let me rewrite them just to stay organized. So this top equation, I need to multiply every single term by 3 so that my coefficients match. And now when I add the blue and the red ones together, I get -4x plus 2z equals -8. Now I need to take my two variable equations I'm going to rewrite them together. And I'm going to choose to multiply the top one by 4, only because this is already negative. You could have chosen z, it would work. We get 6z equals -12, so z is -2. Alright, that's our first answer. Now we need to take that and solve for x and y. I'm going to choose to plug back into this equation because it's no coefficient on x. So x minus 2 equals -1. So x equals 1. Now I'm going to take both of these values and plug them into any original equation to get z. And I'm going to choose the third one. So do that over here. -2 times 1 plus, oh I'm sorry, we're solving for y, plus y minus -2 equals -4. Alright, let's solve for y. -2, +2. Well, -2 and +2 equals 0, so y is -4. Your final answer needs to be written as a coordinate, x, y, z, right here. 1, -4, -2. So we're going to take solving 3-variable systems, and I'll do them in word problems. So So we can pause the video here so you can write the main ideas down from this word problem. And we need to first define our variables. So I'm going to say let x be small. I don't like to use s. It looks too much like a 5. Y be medium. And z be large. So reading through the equation, the quilt maker makes 14 quilts this year. So x plus y plus z equals 14. The total number of quilts. So all the smalls, the mediums, and the large add up to be 14 quilts. Then our next equation, I notice we talk about fabric length. So if it's 4 yards for small, that's going to be 4x. And 7 yards for medium is 7y. And 11 yards for large is 11z. And we need a total of 113 yards. Lastly, she plans to make twice as many large quilts as small quilts. I find these kind of sentences give students a hard time, more so than some of the others. If you are not sure, I'm going to show you a way to check that you made your equation the right way. If she makes twice as many large as small, that means my large has to equal 2 times the number of smalls we've made. So for example, if you're not sure, here's my thought process in my head. Let's pretend she made 12 larges. How many smalls did that really mean she made? If she made twice as many large, smalls would be half the amount at 6. If I plug these numbers in back here, does it work? Is 2 times 6 equal to 12? Yes, so I know I have the 2 with the right variable. So now for this equation, to solve it, we're not going to use elimination because this problem already has just 2 variables. So we're going to use substitution. So the first thing we're going to do is take this 2x and plug it in for z here and for z here. We're going to simplify our formulas, our equations. So this is 3x plus y equals 14. This is 22x plus 4x. That's 26x. Now that we have 2 equations and 2 variables, we can use elimination for these 2. It's easiest if I multiply this equation by -7 to match my y coefficient. I'm going to add them together. Here we get 5x. Here we get 15. That means x equals 3. So that's 3 small quilts. We can use that now back in our equation here to find z. So z equals 2 times 3. That's 6 large quilts. And then lastly, we have to find the number of medium quilts for y. So I'm going to choose one of these black equations. They have less variables. I'm going to choose this one here. That is 3 times 3 plus y equals 14. So when we simplify, we get 5. Now, because it's a word problem, I'm not going to write my answer as a coordinate. I'm going to write my answer as a sentence because it's in the context of this problem. So here is what you could write. she made 3 small quilts, 5 medium quilts, and 6 large quilts. It is imperative, super important, that you define your variables before you start your problem. You have to do that so that the reader of your work knows what variables stand for what context in this problem. Okay, so here's a second one to try. We'll pause the video so you can write this down. If you want, definitely try to write your 3 equations while you're waiting for the rest of the class, but until we hit play again. I'm going to say X is regular tickets, Y is premium, and Z is elite. When you read this, here's our first equation. There is 440 tickets total. So X plus Y plus Z equals 440. Then I'm going to do a money equation. If it's $5 for a regular and $15 for a premium and $25 for elite, here's all my money has to equal my total money. And now to the tricky sentence. The number of regular tickets was 3 times the number of premium and elite combined. So the number of regular was, or is always equals 3 times premium and elite combined. This equation is much easier if you distribute to 3. And now we have our 3 equations. So we're going to pause the video so you can use substitution again and solve these 3 equations, and then we're going to come back and check your work. So for substitution, I'm going to take this equation and plug it in for X here and X here. Okay, so I'm going to do the red equation first. Distribute your 5 and combine like terms, and you will get 30y plus 40z equals 3940. So that's the first equation. Now I have to do that in the blue one. 3y plus 3z, and for x, combine my like terms. Now I have 2 equations with 2 variables. We have to solve those. I'm going to choose to multiply this equation on the right by 10, actually by negative 10, so I can cancel with this 40. When I combine those equations, we get negative 10y is negative 460. And when we divide by negative 10, we get 46. Well, now I can use that to find x and z. So first I'm going to take the 46 and plug it back into this equation because my numbers are smaller, so I'm going to plug it in right there. Simplifying, I'm going to subtract 184 to the other side. Divide by 4. So Z is 64 tickets. Now using those two, We can plug them in here and find x. And that equals 330 tickets. So again, we're going to write out our answer in a sentence, not as a coordinate. 330 regular tickets, 46 premium, and 64 elite. If there is any time left in class, now you're going to start your homework. It's in your packet, Skills Practice 10. Do 9 through 12 on the front and 1 through 4 on the back. All of the answers to all of this homework is in this flip chart, which will be on Edline, so you can check your answers tonight.